Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna go ahead and get started on our next project today. We're doing another chassis swap, frame swap, however you want to word it. I went to the other property and loaded up the donor truck, and we've got it back here at the shop now. We'll do a couple things to it, so then we can start on the build. I'm gonna turn you around and let you see that truck that we're gonna use for the donor, and then I'll take you over there to the body that we're gonna put on it. All right. Well, this is it. It's a 1500 2000s model Chevrolet. It was extended cab short bed. We'll still have to shorten the frame up a little bit because we're building a regular cab long bed, but it's still, wheelbase ain't quite right. So we're gonna have to shorten the frame some. It's got a 5.3 4L60 in it. It's 4-wheel drive. I've heard the truck run. We put it in gear and seen the tires turn and all in the yard, but we haven't drove it. Lower ball joint's broke. I've got a new lower ball joint and the inner and outer tie rod. We'll fix them things on here and look over everything else, make sure everything looks okay here. If it all looks good, well, I'm gonna put the ball joint and stuff on there. I'm gonna put a set of tires on it. We're gonna start it up. We're gonna drive it up and down the road, make sure that everything shifts like it's supposed to. Then we're gonna pull the body off of it and get to work. I've done pulled the bed, sold it because it was in good shape. But the cab's kind of junk. Done took seats and stuff out of it too. But that's it. I'm not gonna video me putting the ball joint and the tie rods in there. I don't want to see none of that anyways. But I'm gonna walk you over here and show you the Ford truck that we're gonna put on it. All right. Here's the Ford truck we're putting on it. It's a 1970 Ford Ranger. It's a long bed truck. It's actually sitting on a 2006 Tahoe chassis right now, because we was gonna build it on the Tahoe chassis a while back. It's probably been a year or so ago. It was a project we was gonna do. We set it on here, and you can see that's all we done. We never even notched it to get it to set lower or anything, because we was gonna kind of make it pretty low, notch the bed out, cut the bed down, make a short bed out of it. But plans changed. The inside's not terrible. Had to do a little bit of floor pan patching and all in it. We'll redo all the interior in it. But it's a pretty solid truck. We'll paint it and everything when we're done. I'll walk around the front up here so you can. But it's not a bad looking old truck. It's pretty solid. Like I said, we got the long bed, but we changed plans. We're gonna put it on that frame, so it's gonna be a 4-wheel drive truck, and we're gonna leave it a long bed and put a decent sized tire on it. We ain't gonna jack it up or nothing, but we're gonna give it an aggressive tire so that way, you know, it kind of goes along with the truck. I don't know what kind of wheels or nothing we're gonna put on it yet, but that's the two trucks. I'm gonna leave you off here. Next time you see this one will be drug out in the parking lot, so we can set this cab off, and the other one will have the ball joints and everything in it, so that way we can start pulling the cab off it to mate the two together. But we'll see you in a few. Okay, got the inner and outer tie rods in, got the lower ball joint in. Everything else looks fine, so it's all back together now. Find some tires and put on here, and then we'll put a battery in it, and we'll back it off the trailer. And I think we're gonna drive it down the road just to make sure that it shifts through all its gears. It should. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. But I'm gonna find some tires and we'll get off trailer and we'll be back. We got it on the tires, so he's gonna go down the road and see if it shifts. It's all gonna shift like it's supposed to. Well, he said it shifted fine. So now we're gonna go up here and pull the body off of it. Okay, pulled it in the shop, got the bumper and everything off, cab mounts out, all our wirings flipped over. The only thing still hooked, the steering's still hooked so I can steer it, because we're gonna pick the cab up out of the shop because I didn't put it on the lift bay. Got 2 power steering lines that where it's got the cooler. I got to unhook that. And then the lower radiator hose on this side. So lower radiator hose, 2 power steering lines, and steering. I'm going to unhook the 3 hoses, leave the steering hook until it's outside. And then we're going to pick the cab up. Then got the shifter unhooked, truck's in neutral underneath. Parking brakes unhooked. All the cab bolts are out. So everything should be good, ready to come off, as long as I didn't forget something. But you know, when you're doing this, there's always a chance you forgot something, no matter how many times you've done it. But I'm going to get the stuff outside, and you'll see us picking the cab up. All right, you saw us pick it up. Was wedging on it a little bit because where the cab is crunched right there, it was caught on this. We'll have to fix the frame a little bit, but that's no big deal because we got to shorten anyway, so we'll shorten it where it's bent. That's it up off of there. Now we can figure out what else we're going to do. I know it needs to be washed, and we got this new thing that we're going to try, the pressure washer that's supposed to kind of sandblast it too. See how that turns out. But I'll be back with y'all in just a few when I figure out what we're going to do first, if we're going to cut everything off, or if we're going to get measurements for the Ford truck, or what we're going to do. We'll be back shortly. All right, we pulled it in the shop, and we decided that we're going to go ahead and cut the mounts off and cut the frame. And we got to take 12.5 inches out of the frame. So we pulled the fuel lines off, so that way from the motor to the gas tank, they're gone. So we ain't got to worry about none of that. The brake line, I just cut it, bent it over, and then rolled this side around. When we're done cutting it, to frame it all, we'll patch the brake line all back up. And then we'll cut the fuel lines down and make them fit. We're going to just cut the exhaust, measure 12.5. We're going to cut it both ways, cut the frame 12.5 on both. So then when they butt together, we'll just put little sleeves on the exhaust and weld it back up, so that way we can reuse the exhaust that somebody's already put on here. Drive shaft's out. It's got some pretty bad dents in it. We're going to dig through our stuff after we get it shortened up and find a metal drive shaft, hopefully in our pile, that we can shorten to put on it. We got the rear bumper off, but we're going to get our stuff marked up, take 12.5 inches out of it, so we can roll it together, roll it back up, and then get all the mounts cut off of it, so we can try and set the cab and figure out what we got to do for cab mounts. All right, we marked it out. We cut our 12.5 inches out of the pipes and then the frame on both sides. And we took out the bent section. There's that one, and there's that one. That one's still straight though, but so we got them out now. Cut the corners and all with the grinder, but where it was twisted up real bad, it kept wanting to close in. So then we just wound up doing them with the plasma cutter all the way around. That all worked good. Just had to grind them up and clean them up a little bit. And we just straight cut this one. We're gonna put it together, weld it, and then we'll put a diamond plate on it, and it'll be plenty strong. We've done them that way. We've done them angle cut. We've done them the Z'd. They all work pretty good. We'd have probably done this one a touch different if we wasn't, because our bend was so close to the torsion bar cross member, we couldn't really do a lot. You know, we kind of had to straight there, and it's still tweaked a little bit at the top, but we'll get them together and get it tight good on the bottom where it's straight and that side, and then we'll put the porta power and press it out, and if that don't work, because we can't get to it or something, because the transfer case, we'll put a piece of metal and a basic clamp and tighten it down until it's pretty straight. But I'm gonna get this stuff ground up so then we can slide the frame together. Then after we get it slid together, I'll show you, then we'll weld it up. I don't think we're gonna fully weld it out yet. I think we're just gonna put some good little spot welds around it. That way we can cut all this off and we can set the cab in the bed. And you know, we're gonna have to pull the cab back off anyways to fully weld the cab mounts out when we do it. But if we leave that just spot welded, then we can make sure that we are happy with the wheelbase and everything, and we don't need to change it instead of doing all the weld work, plated everything, and then say, dang, it'd have been nice if it was a 1/4 inch shorter because the bed gap's a little big or something. I don't think that's gonna be the case, but just to be on the safe side, we're gonna put it together, put some good spot welds on it so it stays, it's level, it's flat. Then we'll be able to build our cab mounts and all. Make sure we're happy with everything. Then when we pull the cab back off to weld the cab mounts out, we weld this out, and then the whole frame is gonna get cleaned up, painted and everything too after that. So we're gonna be back at this, you know, the frame in the open, so it's not really like it's hurting time-wise or nothing. So we're gonna get this cleaned up, slid together, and then I'll be back. All right, grinded around it on both sides, slid it together, got them pretty close to the same height. That tire was smaller than that tire, so I had to air that one down to kind of make the back right. So it's close enough now. You see our exhaust and all is going to be pretty good. Cuts line up pretty good. Now we're going to take some angle iron and clamp everything, and then pull all of our measurements, exit, make sure we're good front to back. That way everything is squared back up. We know it's all good. Then we'll put some spot welds on it. But just showing y'all, I mean, it's fitting together pretty good. Everything's doing like it's supposed to. But we're gonna get some pieces of metal clamped on there so everything is clamped. So it's there, we can square it all up and stuff. Then we'll put some tacks on it and we'll be back. All right, we just drug it out of the shop. We got a little bit of weld on the top. It all fits up pretty good. Put a little bit of spot on the bottom, so it's good there. Our exhaust lined up pretty good. Put a couple tacks on it. Put some weld on top of that one. So that's all good for now anyway, so we can kind of get an idea of what we need to do. We drug the Ford out, and the Tahoe frame is different width-wise and everything than the 1500 truck frame. So we're going to just pull that cab off and set it over here on this frame, then take all of our measurements of what we've got to do, because if we make it work on that one, I think that frame swoops a little more lower than this one. So we're gonna just put the stuff over here and then make all of our measurements instead of trying to make our measurements off that frame. We're gonna get that hooked up and get it up there. All right, we got it set down. It's pretty close to centered. All our stuff there. These hoses right here, you seen us fighting. The way they got plenty of clearance now, but where they was wanting to go under, the inner fender was fighting us. Still got to go back some, but we can see what we wanted to see here. and trim up a little bit there and there, which is where there's rust anyway, so we got to take care of it regardless. And the height and stuff of the truck like that's about the height that I think I want it to sit, but we'll have to shift the cab back some. But we can see enough now that I think we're going to push it back in the shop, and we can raise it up a little bit, cut stuff and mock it around where we want it. Because like bumper, you ain't gonna have a lot hanging out under the frame when we do that. And when we go back, I mean, it's right there at it, but when we go back, it's gonna help that. But there's still plenty of room for a radiator there. You can see it on this side too, where it's got to go back. But I guess we're gonna get stuff unhooked and get this pushed back in the shop, so then we can do it with jacks and jack stands and move it around and be more precise with measurements. Cut the back a little bit and get it figured out where we want to build some cab mounts. We're gonna get pushed shop and we'll be back. All right, we couldn't leave it alone, even though we're getting ready to have to push it in the shop. We picked it up, shifted it a little bit. It's way better now. Still just a little bit off, but it looks a whole lot better that way now than what it did. So this side's, it's just where the cab's a little crooked, but this side's way more centered. And I'll get you back here. We got plenty of room there now. Still plenty of room. Put a fan in it, and it's got a mechanical fan there, so worst case we'd have had to lose that, but pretty centered. So all that falling out pretty good. We're still gonna have to cut a bunch of stuff, but I think I'll step back and let y'all get a side look. So we got the loader out of the way now. I think that's about the height that we're gonna shoot for on it. It's gonna have a decent look. But all right, I think we're gonna call it evening, and we'll push this back in the shop in the morning because we got to sweep the floor and all and figure out cab mounts in the morning. All right, we come in here and we took some measurements, and the cab really can't go down no more because it's really close to the transmission and all. So these will get cut off and cleaned up to fix all the rust anyways. So our mounts holes are, try and get, you can see them right there on both sides. So we're gonna come off the top of the frame and build an arch and then put 2 pedestals on it. So we took all our measurements. That's the frame rails, and that's kind of what we're building. So then we made it out of this piece of wire to make sure everything lays like we want it. And then we took the piece of wire and laid it on top of a piece of pipe and bent it in the pipe bender. Now that side will get trimmed off and that side will get trimmed off, but that made our angles and widths right. So then we'll put it under there, and then it'll have plates that come off with little gussets and the bolts on both sides to make the back cab mount. So it'll be tucked around right there. But that's where we're at on it. We're getting ready to pull our measurements and get our lines so we can cut both sides of that. Then there'll be a piece of plate welded to the bottom of it, so the plate will sit on the frame. We'll be able to weld it around the square instead of just the pipe. But we're gonna get them marked out and cut, and then we'll be back and show you what it's sitting in there while we're figuring out where our mounts need to be off of it. All right, we got our piece cut out and it sits on the frame good to go under there. Now we're gonna make the little pieces that come off of it so we can go ahead and weld them on there. Then when we put it under there, we're not trying to weld up there right now. So this, you can see, let's grab this pipe here. This is a piece of tubing. This is gonna be the top. This is gonna be from the side view. So then that way, that pipe, you know, it'll be this, the pipe's representing the cross member, so then it'll sit to it. So be able to weld it down the front and around on both sides. And then it's gonna taper out. So hockey puck, we'll drill a hole in the center of it. It'll go like that. So then from the side, it's got a nice angle to it. And then this tubing is about perfect size for the hockey puck. So we're going to get them cut out, and then we'll pull our measurements, get it tacked to that, and make sure that it looks okay. Take it out, probably weld it all out. Clean the tube up good so it's clean. Clean the spots on the frame that we're gonna be on. Get it tacked in there. Then when we pull the cab back off and finish the frame on both sides, then we'll weld the mounts out fully where we can get everything good. But I'm gonna get these cut out and then we'll be back. All right, we got pieces cut, measured out. Got them welded on. This is how it'll be sitting under there, this same way. Then we took the hockey pucks and drilled holes in them so to get a hockey puck on top. My hole's off a little bit, but like that. So then when it bolts down, it'll have its cushion and everything. We was gonna put a plate under it before we weld it to the frame, but we think it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna clean around the edge. So then when it's in there and we get it where we want it, then we just tack it up a couple good places. Then we pull the cab off, we'll be able to weld it all the way around. But that's them on there on both sides. So it's ready to go under there so we can knock the cab around. And we've started cutting pieces to make the front mounts. So when we get everything, we're gonna get the mounts all figured out so then we can square the cab up with the mounts bolted to the cab and then we can tack it. But we're gonna finish getting the front ones, figured out how we're gonna do them, and then we'll be back and I'll show you what we come up with. All right, working on the front mount. Just took a piece of angle so it'll go to the frame like that. Cut a plate, get welded to the top, then be a hockey puck and a bolt. This will be welded down on the frame all the way around so it'll stick out. So it'll look like this. And the holes offset. So that way everything lines up, but that's all welded and grounded on the edge. So I'll take you over here and lay under the truck and show you how it's gonna fit to it. And then we'll come back, weld this one up. This is for the driver's side, this is for the passenger side. So we'll go over to the truck and I'll show it to you. All right, we're over here under the truck now. You can see we cut the mount off that was here. And I grinded this side. When we pick the body up, we'll clean this one up too so it's all smoothed out. But we just grinded what we had to take off for the time being. And then there's the forward mount, our hockey puck. The hole in it, go there. And then our plate is gonna go like that and get welded with the hockey puck and all on there so it'll get welded around. So that'll be the front mount. And then when we pull the cab off, we'll clean all the rest of this up and paint all this and fully weld it out. But we'll just get it spot welded in there or tacked in there for now. So it holds it and it's there. And then the back one is like that. And it's just spotted in on the frame too. So when we pick the cab up, we'll be able to clean these up, weld them all out, fix the splice in the frame, box it. But that's the front mount, so we're gonna get them put in, then we're gonna look at the core support and figure out how we're gonna mount it. So then it's got all 6 mounts on the cab. So all that's where it's supposed to be. All right, well, we got a piece stuck in here, got a couple tacks on the front, one on the side there. So it's sitting good. We're gonna get the other side, do the same thing to it. So then it'll be tacked on too, so to have all the cab bolts will be in it. And then on the front, as you can see, that falls up pretty close on the core support, so may put a hole there and a bolt. The factory bolt falls out right there. You can see it right above the frame in there. So I'll either drill a hole in the frame, put a hockey puck there and just tighten it down and be done, and cut this one out, or I'll put a piece of plate up there, weld it to the core support and put a bolt in it, so then that way it's mounted there. But we're probably gonna go to the, just drill a hole in the center, put a hockey puck, and then get all this going out here, so then it's all out of the way for however we do bumper brackets. So with all that being said, there's that mount from a different angle, the front one. So with all that being said, I think that this is gonna be the end of this video for today. We've messed with this thing for today's day 4 that we've been on it. But it hasn't been full days. If you do the time, it's probably only been 2 full days, because it's just been a little bit during the day or a little bit in the evenings on it. But we got that wheel stuff all fixed on the other cab. So then it was on here, drove it, cut the frame 12.5 inches out, put this cab on there, made the rear cab mount. There's a picture of it again. It's still got to be fully welded in and everything when we pick the cab up. And then to get wire brushed and painted, and the whole frame's gonna get sandblasted and painted, so it'll all be clean and nice. But I think that's where we're gonna end this video off. And on the next one, we're gonna address our holes. It's rusted out over there, try and get all them fixed, and may even try and get corners on the cab, but I don't know, them may wait. Probably at least gonna get these in here done, so then that way everything here can be cleaned, so we can move forward with that, and probably try and figure out how we're gonna have to do the steering and stuff. But that'll be on the next one. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.